What is Shoka? Sho is that which represents the spark of life. Shoka expresses the growing energy of plants and flowers that have put their roots in the soil and reach upward toward the sky. The posture of Shoka is thus different from moribana, nagere, or freestyle. The vase in Shoka is not merely a container or a beautiful part of the arrangement, it symbolizes the source of life. As the style of architecture changed in the Middle Ages, Ikebana was adopted increasingly as the interior decoration, by which flowers were offered or enjoyed, and by the middle of the 16th century, it had acquired various styles, adapted as being an interior decoration. Firmly embedded in Japanese tradition is the desire to extend fullest hospitality in greeting and entertaining guests. This attitude is grounded on the notion that such warm reception celebrates life lived eternally. Needless to say, the lives of plants display their special powers in tropism and the unfolding of their different phases. Therefore, the fundamental idea underlying the arranging of Ikebana to entertain guests is to recreate the vivid life of plants in a vase. Ancient Japanese observed each tree and bush filled with life energy, felt the strong life force in the mass of plants which make up the beauty of nature, empathized with them, and discovered that determination to live, which is common to all living things. Shoka expresses the essential character and natural growth form of its material. Shoka materials are chosen to harmonize with surroundings where arrangement will be displayed. Shoka, whose materials are chosen with character or design of the vase in mind. Shoka includes intent or design of arranger. In the composition of Shoka, Tai emerges to show the form of the plant just after life has begun, a form entrusted with the dream of the plant's future growth. Soe, in a position relative to and balancing Tai, extends upward towards the light, adapting to its surroundings as it grows. Shin first leans with Soe toward the light, but as Shin grows upward, its own strength and character bring it back to the position over the center of the vase between Tai and Soe. Shin, Soe, and Tai are more closely related than Shin being central and Soe and Tai merely supporting. Each contributes its own character to the harmony of the overall form. The feeling of Tai is of the energy of young plants. Soe describes its own beautiful line while responding to Shin, reflecting movement towards the light and the influence of other environmental factors. After first moving with Soe, Shin then continues its own upward growth, expressing the will of plants toward life. Shin, Soe, and Tai thus represent the beautiful and ordered working of the natural world. Shoka symbolizes not only the beauty of living plants, but also our own image of what is ideally beautiful. Shoka Shofutai is shoka in traditional or correct form, having three main parts: shin, soe, and tai. Shoka Shofutai expresses the inner beauty of the naturally growing forms of plants. For Shoka Shofutai, there are traditional classifications and rules for the use of woody materials, herbaceous grasses, and flowers, and materials having characteristics of both trees and grasses, water materials, land materials, berries, twining vines, leaf materials, and other groupings indicate the importance which Shofutai places on the natural forms of its materials. The gyakugate, or the main parts of a Shoka Shofutai, are shin, soe, and tai. The relative visual strength of shin, soe, and tai, taking into account the character of the materials, their thicknesses, lengths, colors, and volumes, is a proportion of 7 shin to 5 soe to 3 tai. As the shin moves upward, it first leans toward the light, but at a place less than half its height, it changes direction and curves back toward a point above the center of the vase. The place where this change of direction occurs is called Koshi, hip or waist. Koshi is important in suggesting the natural form of plants. The curve of Koshi reinforces the impression that the stem is growing upward. The height and depth of Koshi in relation to the center of the vase influence how and where soe and tai move away from the shin on their own. The placement of Koshi is thus related to variations in the style and expressive quality of shoka, ranging from the solemn and dignified through gradually more relaxed and freely curved styles. When seen from the front, Koshi should be positioned to fall within the edge of the vase. Soe moves with shin until at a point below the Koshi, it leaves the shin line, angling to the rear and upward on its own. The tip of soe usually extends beyond the edge of the vase to a distance of about 1 vase width. Tai, in front of shin and moving opposite to soe, extends at an angle to the front, its tip usually not extending beyond the edge of the vase. Shoka, although it is expressed in the form of a half circle, is considered to form a part of a circular figure or a universe. That is, it should be considered that the visible half contains ki, chi, and the visible Ikebana, and the invisible portion together make up the whole universe, or a complete circle. This thought is based on the idea that every living thing is born and developed through this power of two opposing yin, yo. Plants grow towards the sun. Shoka, having substance, represents the yo. In other words, yo is the sunny side and yin is the shady side, and shoka is considered to occupy the sunny portion. However, plants nevertheless possess identities of their own, and while leaning toward the sun, try to hold on to their own characteristics of growing straight from the ground. Thus, the central branch, shin, suggests this tendency of the middle portion to lean toward the sun, but the upper portion of the branch comes back to the central position. These three branches form the basic elements of construction, and ashirai, auxiliary branches, are added to them. Thus, the basic style of shofutai has been developed so that the plant's origin is shown by tai, the adaptability of plants to their surroundings is shown by soe, and the middle height branches of shin, and the innate characteristic of plants shown in the upper part of shin. Each shin, soe, and tai is thought to have a different character, being split into ten or heaven, ki or earth, and jin or man. That is to say, tai has an essence of in, or the shady part, influenced by earth, and betrays the plant's real nature as it comes out of the ground. Soe suggests the nature of yo, or sunny side, under the influence of ten, or heaven, in which plants are most influenced by their natural surroundings and reveal morphological changes most profoundly. Shin is considered to be jin or man, who is affected both by heaven and earth. If the line of shin resembles the less than sign, the form of shoka is called hongate. If the line resembles the reverse of this, then the form is called gyakugate. Which form is used, hongate or gyakugate, depends on either the natural form of the branch or the design of the tokonoma, the formal alcove where the shoka is placed. In hongate, the soe extends to the left rear and the tai to the right front. In gyakugate, the soe extends to the right rear and the tai to the left front. In hongate, the soe side, or the left, is the yo side, and the tai side, or the right, is the inside. In gyakugate, these are reversed. The soe, or yo side, is on the right, while the tai, or inside, is on the left. Regardless of the form, the soe side is yo, and the tai side is in. The shoka style was first formulated in the late 17th and early 18th centuries. In early arrangements and in the more classical forms of shofutai even today, the method of fixing the stems in the vase is with 4 crossed sticks, or izutsu kubari, or a forked twig with the back crosspiece, matagi kubari with tomegi. However, in those shofutai arrangements today, which use either more modern containers or materials, the stems are often fixed in a pin frog or kensan. The mizugiwa, literally meaning water's edge, is at the center of the vase where the stems spring out from the water. It is the portion of stems above the water and 3 to 7 to 8 centimeters above water. It is important that it seems a single stem as seen from the front. The tip of the shin returns to point over the base of the mizugiwa in a SHOKA SHOFUTAI. Shoka can be broadly classified into shin, gyo, and so styles. Differences among these styles reflect variations in character and natural growing forms among plants, and variations in the vase, space for displaying the arrangement, and intention of the arranger. The shin style presents a dignified form with quiet, restrained movement, appropriate for floral material of quiet character and slight curvature. The branches of shin style are slender and quietly graceful. Relatively straight materials such as young pine branches, narcissus, or early spring rabbit ear iris are well suited for arranging in shin style. The gyo style displays more movement than the shin style. This form is relaxed and branches extend more freely from left to right and front to rear. Gyo style is appropriate for emphasizing the beauty of materials whose characters and natural growth patterns are more relaxed. The vase should also be in gyo style. The so style shows even more movement than gyo style in bringing out the distinctive characters of its floral materials. So style is the style best suited for several modified vases or settings, such as shoka suspended from the tokonoma ceiling or hung on the tokonoma wall or post, cascading and weeping materials or twining vines, for examples, are arranged in so style. It would actually be impossible to arrange such materials in shin style. A vase classified as so is most appropriate for so style. If materials available to you can be arranged in gyo or so style, but the occasion or display space is solemn or dignified, then it would be better to choose different materials for an arrangement in the shin style. On the other hand, if the space or occasion is more relaxed, gyo or so style will be more suitable than the quietness of shin style. The style is chosen to suit both the occasion and the environment. A certain material might lend itself to arranging in any one of the number of styles. The character of a different material, however, might restrict its use to only a single style. If your experience of shoka is limited to imitating a standard pattern, then you will lose sight of the unique qualities of each material in favor of forcing stems into a set form. A standard form is simply a basic suggestion or framework, a starting point for your study of shoka. Each arrangement will be different, expressing the unique beauty of its particular branches and flowers. Most important is that from your first lessons, you not only receive your teacher's advice and suggestions, but that you yourself carefully observe and think about the style most appropriate for your materials. The shoka vase to be used will represent the source of life, and there are appropriate vases for different styles of shoka shofutai. Shin vases. Vases taller than they are wide and having a tall, slender shape. Gyo vases. Vases having a more relaxed shape, about as tall as they are wide. So vases. Low, wide-mouthed vases, bamboo vases cut with either one or two mouths, hanging moon vases, hanging or standing boat vases, or vases for hanging on a wall or post of the tokonoma. Here are some examples of Shoka Shofutai arrangements the Ikenobo way. Here is a one-plant material, Shoka Shofutai, called Ishuike, and it is a shin style. Aspidistra is a plant that reveals elegance, gentleness, and gracefulness in a shin style, Shoka Shofutai. Another Ishuike or one material Shoka Shofutai is created here using iris plants, which are tall and slender, and using a shin style vase as well. Here is a more relaxed, more free Shoka Shofutai arrangement using a Gyo style vase, defining this as a Gyo style Shoka Shofutai using two materials, and that is called Nishuike. Using lotus as a one material or Ishuike Shoka Shofutai arrangement in a Gyo style is this arrangement. Here is a Shoka Shofutai arrangement that even has more freedom using cascading and twining vines. There are two materials making it a Nishuike arrangement, and it is in a So style. Another So style is this hanging moon type of vase that has two materials, making it a Nishuike arrangement in the So style. Here is a Shoka Shofutai arrangement that uses three materials, and it is called Sanshuike. This is the Gyo style. It has more freedom of movement, and it uses a Gyo vase. While Rika seeks beauty in the harmony among plants, Shoka focuses on the shusho, or the inner beauty of a plant that suggests a plant's life. Shusho is a unique character of each plant, beauty discovered in the various growing forms of a plant as it makes every effort to live. Based on this inner beauty, the life of plants is elegantly and gracefully expressed, arranged in a single vase. In shoka, there are two styles: SHOKA SHOFUTAI with traditional form, and the modern SHOKA SHOFUTAI with no set form. This is Norma Carasig Villanueva. I'd like to thank you for your kind attention and thank you for watching.